we're not that happy this morning, but we are happy of ourselves, who we are, and we love ranchero music. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee and Pan Dulce.
Alexa, stop.
How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, good.
It is, yes.
Second Irish coffee in, and I feel great.
I was gonna say, this is my third cup of coffee. I have not slept all night long watching.
Put a little Bailey's in it, and you got what you need on a day like today.
This is, I don't think any of us, I don't know, we're going to talk.
Can y'all see my black marks? Well, I'm serious.
It looks good.
I have
It looks good.
I have not slept.
Welcome everyone to Coffee and Pan Dulce. Today is the day after the election, which is still going on. I think this is a nervous laughter that I have this morning. We're trying to all, put a smile on our faces and do what we need to do. I do feel different than I did when I went to bed this morning. So we're going to talk about that, and we may have some other people joining us throughout the show. We'll see what happens. Once again, welcome to Coffee and Pan Dulce. I'm Christian Cano, along with our co-host Mama Ruth and our other guest as well. We're going to go around, introduce yourself. Thank you for those who are joining us on Facebook Live, but also those who join us on YouTube and Facebook later as well. This is a very special show. We'll see how it works out, then we'll talk about the rest of the shows in November. Today is November 4th, day after the general election ended, which is still being counted as we speak. We do not know who our next president of the United States is. We're going to talk about that. But before we do that, let's go around the Brady Bunch screen. Tell us who you are, your buttons, and then we'll start, do the salute and the Pan Dulce, and then we'll start. So who wants to go first? I don't have a look at the Brady Bunch screen. Mama Ruth, do you have that? Or?
Joe, myself, and Barbara.
All right, let's go.
All right, I'm Stephen DiFiore. I'm the recording secretary for the Libertarian Party of Mecklenburg County. And I am just here relaxing. If you remember 4 years ago, hashtag not my president was trending. For me, no matter who wins, hashtag not my president, because that's what it's like being a libertarian. That's all. I'm good.
You're on TV.
All right.
Oh yeah, I think I was the most handsome guy on the TV.
Yep, I saw you twice.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Joel Odom. I am a Charlotte native. I am an advocate for the African American community and also the city of Charlotte, the people of Charlotte. I represent if I had a button, it would be Black Lives Matter, Vote Baby Vote, and Medicare for All. And that's it.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ruth Perez. Everybody here, and y'all are welcome to call me Mama Ruth. As everybody knows, I'm a community advocate for the city, for the state, for the nation. I do not give up, okay? And this morning I woke up with something very special in my heart. And it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. I have my own faith, and I believe what I believe in my heart. It's not what I'm seeing, it's what I think it's gonna be. My secret button, as everybody knows, and from now on, I think I carry a new one where I'm gonna do everything that I can to see my country different. That will be my new button. Medicare for all, we need help. We need changes. Gun reform, not to take away Amendment 2, but at least to be revised and to bring conscience to gun owners. And all life matters, but importantly, our color skin matters the most in this country.
Yes, sir.
So, Barbara, you're next.
Good morning. I think 2.5 hours sleep, maybe. walking was
Bitch, you have not
really,
slept.
really easy to walk this morning. When you're angry, you can walk really fast and you don't fall down either. My button would be probably 3. Black Lives Matter, gun control, and I'm going to say healthcare for all because I got into a really active discussion about Medicare for all and some of the other options. So I'm going to say healthcare for all because I believe it's a right of ours, not a privilege. So that's the way I feel this morning.
That's
Bailey
right.
might not be a bad idea, Stephen.
Sorry, what wouldn't be a bad idea?
Bailey's.
Oh yeah, Bailey's. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
The Irish, they knew what they were doing.
So
Honorary Irish woman today.
I apologize. I actually lost y'all for a while. I don't know if you noticed, but I went into the I don't know what happened.
Internet la la land.
So I'm Christian Cano, one of your co-hosts. It's so great to have everyone on here. I have lots of buttons today. I purposely put on my Biden button. I don't know if you can see it. Medicare for all, trust women, moms demand action. I am actually sequestered out in a camper at home. I was kicked out of the house last night, probably about 11 o'clock last night, because I was yelling at the television. And to keep peace in our home, I decided to come out to the camper, turn the TV on. So I've had to put the the internet relays out here so we could do this show, and we'll see if I go in and out. We're going to be talking about the election, but before we do, let's salute to Coffee and Conduce, everyone who I'm not even going to drink coffee this morning. I'm afraid, so I can't imagine me on coffee. Had enough vodka last night, and we always want to thank our Conduce sponsor, Manolo's Bakery on Central Avenue. Please visit your locally owned Black and brown businesses, small businesses in Charlotte or wherever you live watching this show. So with that said, today's topic is election results. As many of you know, I don't know. I tell you what, let's start with me asking this question, 30 seconds or less. How did you feel last night when you went to sleep, if you went to sleep? So who wants to go? I don't know who wants to start that one.
I'll start. I'll be the quickest one. Last night when I went to bed, I felt tired. And then I woke up and I felt less tired.
Well,
It's
Okay.
weird how that works.
Yeah.
Minor miracle of life.
okay, who else wants to go?
Well, I was angry when I closed my eyes and said, please let me go to sleep, because I watched Trump give his speech, and when he said he won, that did it. I turned off the TV. I said, please let me go to sleep. When I woke up a few hours later, I'm like, oh my God, please tell me that was a dream. But I knew it wasn't. Turned on the TV, turned it off again, and tried to go back to sleep, which did not happen. So I don't feel any better. Although I did walk my 3.5 miles today. So
All right.
fast too.
How about you, Joel? How about you, Joel? How'd you feel when you went to sleep?
Well,
Or did you?
I did go to sleep. I actually slept. I slept like a baby. Because what I did, I turned all my notifications off on Facebook, all my news notifications. I didn't go to Instagram. I didn't go to Facebook. I steered clear and I just chilled out. I watched some Netflix, and I watched the Zodiac last night on Netflix. And that was like a 2-hour movie. And then I went to sleep. And then I turned the TV on this morning. I didn't turn the TV on. What I did was I checked my phone, and I saw that they did not have the results and yada, yada, yada. So I was just like, okay, North Carolina surprised me. I was a little upset. And so I just went out, got my coffee, came.
Mama Ruth.
Woo. It brought me memories back from 2016 So I kind of had already, when now that I started exercising, I'm getting a routine and I'm kind of and I have a feeling at first I didn't know the steps of the Zumba dance, but now I'm kind of getting the hang of it. That brought me back into 2016, the way we were. Remember, we woke up the same way.
Yep.
There were miscounts.
Yeah.
They had to handpick all the counts and all that,
Oh.
all the ballots and all that. So I guess that helped me to kind of have split emotions. I'm going to say split emotion because I love North Carolina and I was expecting better. Out of all those phone bombarding that I started getting in the past 3 weeks, I was expecting different. And I love my friends. I love both sides, all sides. As y'all can tell, I don't give up. I mean, I love my friends and that's not going to change nothing. But I was expecting to see more power in our votes.
Yeah.
I already know the outcome. I kind of have a feeling of it already. Remember when we talked a long time ago in some past shows?
Yep.
What are our plans? What plan A, B, or C do we have? What if Trump wins? What are we going to do? How are we going to mobilize? How are we going to turn out and change all this? Now, if Biden wins, we're still having a lot to lose because there's a lot of Republicans that are winning seats. So we kind of have to kind of balance ourselves, put our mindset and make sure what kind of plans we have for our community, for our nation, for our state.
Okay. Well, listen, looks like we have a neighbor of ours joining us, is Kelle Pressley. Hello, welcome to Coffee and Pondusi. We're live on Facebook.
Welcome, Kelly.
Yes.
Hey, how are y'all?
The question we're asking everyone, we run around the Brady Bunch screen, is what you felt like when you went to bed last night and what you feel like waking up this morning. 30 seconds or less. Can you, actually, why don't you introduce yourself first?
Okay. Well, good morning, everybody. I am Kelle Pressley Perkins. I'm here in Charlotte, North Carolina as part QC Supermom, seed producer, and also with Moms Rising, which is a national grassroots on the ground advocacy for mom and motherhood. So within that second time frame, last night I prepared myself because during the election, I've done everything from working the polls as safety security. I did postcards to get low voting moms to actually get activated. I did phone banks, anything that there was possible to do, we did it. I did it with the mindset, if this does not work at the end, we're gonna have to be responsible for ourselves and learn how to do things a little bit differently. So last night I was prepared, antsy, and this morning I woke up kind of shaken, but I'm still anticipating that this being America and me having some amazing friends of all different shades, colors, and backgrounds, we'll get through this. We just got to get the malignant Cheeto out soon, some one way or the other.
Well, that's, I went to bed, as I mentioned when we started the show, I'm being sequestered because I was yelling at the television. So I'm out in the trailer. And I will be out in the trailer watching the results come in. So if you see me turning this way, I'm waiting to see if there's anything.
It might take all the way to Friday.
Well, that
I think so too.
I'm just
It
going to
might take all the way till December when the Electoral College casts its ballots.
Yeah, I went to bed last night feeling very nervous. I was more nervous than I was 2016. I was on the ballot. But I knew I had lost the race probably about 9 or 10 o'clock in 2016. So I wasn't, got over that. And then we were watching, and then we started to see some states fall away from Hillary. So I had this feeling when I went to bed last night that in 2016 that he had won. This was maybe even a little worse for me because I was focusing on this election, and I really wanted a blowout so it could be a statement that we are not going to accept this things that we've been going along. It didn't happen. And I woke up this morning with the headlines, it's not over. Some of the states like Michigan have swung to Biden now. Wisconsin swing to Biden. Arizona, they still haven't called, at least most networks haven't called. Pennsylvania, I think he's probably lost, but I don't know. Georgia is close. But to everyone's point, the positive thing is how close all the states were. So Texas was close, Florida was close, North Carolina was within 70,000 votes. It looks like that's kind of what we're looking at. So in many ways, it's gotten really close. Who would have thought Texas would be that close? I don't know. So
Oil Texas.
yes.
States I knew that he would have, without a doubt. I knew when my daughter was my son he started yelling out the states that had went straight red. I was like, I kind of imagined that one.
Yeah.
Indiana, I imagined that one. Ohio, I imagined. Some states I just knew, but North Carolina, our people sucker punched us.
I'm not trying to be funny. I'm looking at the map right now for the election results. He has totally took the South. He has Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Arizona, Arkansas, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Yeah, I mean, that's just Kentucky.
He doesn't have Virginia. That's technically the South, right?
Right.
I don't consider that the South. That's just up there in like Neverland. I don't know, like Barbara said, somewhere out there in La La Land. Virginia is just a strange place to be.
I will not argue on that point.
So Barb, what do you think, Barb?
I was really sweating it that he wasn't going to keep Virginia. That really surprised me. I don't know. But I prayed. I actually did. I said, please not this time, please, and we've got a lot of votes to count. North Carolina can accept ballots till when? Friday?
The 12th.
12th, that's right. And then Pennsylvania's till Friday. I was on the phone with my husband's, my daughter-in-law, and they're like furious because they're near Scranton, Pennsylvania, Biden's hometown, and they're like, what happened? So I'm keeping my fingers crossed and praying that more mail-in ballots come in and it tips in our favor.
You know, it's a good argument that people are so emotionally invested in particularly in a negative way, in who is the president of the United States. It's almost as though the federal government has way too much power and influence over our lives and should probably have less power and influence.
Definitely.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I mean, I hear what you say, Stephen, but I do want to say that the reason that my stomach was in knots, and I dreamt about this last night. Regardless of who wins, I'm a light-skinned Latinx person. I can weave in and out of the white world and the straight world. I'm gay as well. And I have learned to do that. If Trump wins, my life will still be weaving in and out. There is a very large percentage of my neighbors, my family, my friends who don't have that ability, who live in a world of being marginalized, being told you are less than, that you are. And so for those individuals, for the person at the highest level of our country to tell them on a daily basis, you are worthless, you are nothing, you're not equal to someone else, is painful. So that's the reason why this election is important for some people. And so for me, I think that was more internally, I don't want this to go on for 4 more years for what we've seen and what I've seen. And that is the reason that I said, oh my gosh, it hurt from that perspective. And so, yes, I mean, I do believe that local city council, everything is local. The city council technically passes the taxes and the laws, but it's almost, the only thing I can equate it is because I grew up with one parent. I didn't have 2 parents. So my one parent gave me unconditional love. Can you imagine the young children looking at the president of the United States, who they look up to, saying to them, Black and brown people, you just don't really want to be successful. You could be, but you just don't. transgender people, to women, to those things. That is what is that's why this is so important for many individuals, is because that figurehead is basically saying, that's like, for me, that's what I
Perhaps
felt.
the issue is thinking that that's a person to look up to.
Bingo.
No,
And
no,
as
that's
a mom,
It-
I make it very clear that my babies, they honestly,
Yeah.
Obama did the best he can. I was proud that he was in the White House to show how a husband relates to his wife and his kids. But I guess it's a different situation to say what all he actually did for Blacks. But on the part with the household thing and the first leader and the first teacher, I think it goes back to mothers. I think everything starts with mothers and home. I think that's where prejudices and habits are established at home. And I think if more moms got on one accord and say, look, you like this person, you will find out about this person and judge this person on their character and not their skin. I think that would take care of a lot of things, even if you compare it to local elections.
Yeah.
We try to attack local elections because we know if we don't get them at the root, at the small elections, we know they grow up and they become Trumps. So my whole thing is getting things in its infancy. And that's just me speaking as a mom, just being a local advocate. I think more groundwork, more emphasis need to be on this is what we need to do as moms, as parents, as nurturers, as first leaders, as first teachers. We don't want our child to grow up to be this kind of way. And it may be because I've been watching The White Slave on Netflix, but I'm just all over the place. I mean, it's a really good documentary on Netflix. It kind of brings everything that I always thought into perspective. You really have to get those infancy times, those infancy elections, those infancy days. I really think that is a significant place to start. That's just my opinion as a mom.
But the worst part for me about what's going on is just the turnout. And I kind of anticipated a little bit that Trump would get the South, really. But to me, I just felt like North Carolina would have showed up and showed out. And, especially with the number of African Americans. I mean, if you look at the map, you'll see Charlotte, Greensboro, Raleigh, Fayetteville. And if you go up, you'll see like blue. And the major cities voted blue. But that's not, okay, 75%. I guess that's what the poll said. 75% of North Carolina eligible voters voted. Like that's registered to voted. But there are so many people that's not registered that needs to register to vote so they can vote. And the sad part is it's just like with some people in my family. I had to make sure my own father was registered to vote. I was just like, are you even registered? And turns out he wasn't, but he could vote. Because especially with a lot our brown and black young men, they go to jail some way, somehow. They have fell into this trick of believing that they can't vote if they're a felon. Not true. Not true at all. And to me, I think what I want to do right now, because I'm working on a couple of things, but something that showed me that I need to work on is connecting, going to the correctional facilities and talking to our young men and women. Because when I ran for mayor, I went to the juvenile correctional facility in Cornelius. And I saw a couple of young men, didn't even know that I knew them some way, somehow. God has blessed me where I could touch. And I was just like, the boy said, you, Jomaya brother, I said, I am. And, I was just like, wow, I'm not that far disconnected to be in this place. My mom died. I could have been on drugs. Anything could have happened to me. You just don't know. And we have to train up our young people, because when I go, I just feel like they believe that they're left out, and it's not true.
Well, just a couple of factoids here and then we want to try to kind of turn a little bit positive if we can this morning, because I like to be a half glass full kind of person, even though it's hard.
I got some positive news. Yeah.
Yes. So if you are a Biden-Harris fan, it looks like that regardless of what happens tonight, that Biden-Harris will win the popular vote by almost 4 or 5 million by the time it's finished. So they should win the popular vote. Doesn't really make a difference because the Electoral College votes. So if you want to look
That's what
at
happened with Hillary Clinton. Thank you.
yes. So, but so in a way, we do know that that most Americans, by 4 or 5 million people, were looking for change. 1/3 of the people who voted for Biden said they voted for Biden-Harris against Donald Trump. That's the highest it's ever been in any election to actually vote against someone at such a percentages. Only 4% of Trump supporters said they voted for Trump against Biden, which means he actually had 96% of the people voted him because they actually liked it. If you look at how close so many of the states were from Georgia, even the ones you mentioned, Joel, they were very, very close. So it does show that many states are purple. They're not really just red or just blue. They are actually purple. North Carolina is a very perfect example. North Carolina is not really a red state. It's not really a blue state. It is a purple state. So if you have to think of things in a way, that's how we got Governor Cooper's a Democrat, a Republican lieutenant governor. Cal Cunningham lost. We did flip, I think, 2 House seats. The 2 women did win 2 House seats in North Carolina. Okay. Unfortunately, Cynthia Wallace lost her election. So there are some positives, I think, that we can take.
That's right. We just got to fight harder, keep the movement going. And, we got to pray. We got to pray. Lord knows.
So
gotta pray. Yep.
So Steve and I had this kind of jokingly conversation before this started, right before we went live. And the Latino vote is very split in Florida. The more Cubans and evangelical Latinos voted for Trump. Other Latinos voted for Biden-Harris. Because of the Latino vote, that's the reason Arizona is so close. The reason Texas is so close. The reason he was so in Pennsylvania, we'll find out those numbers. So I jokingly told Stephen, maybe we can have a vote and officially kick the Cuban Americans out of being Latinos since they never vote with Latinos. I don't know
you
how
put my Celia Cruz people out, because I love me some Celia Cruz people.
So if we had Jorge,
not only Jorge, not the only Cuban. You know what the sad part of it is? That all the South American Latinos, Colombia, Peru, Ecuador, they voted for Trump. They were pro-Trump.
So
that's misinformation, and that's kind of his campaign's fault. Sorry, but the truth.
The last statement, I'm going to wait till we get towards the end, because that question is, are we going to learn anything as a Democrat? Are we learning anything moving forward? The type of candidates we run, the type of campaigns we run. Trump ran the campaign that he's expected to. It's all about fear, hatred, and it wins. He got his vote out. I mean, he. That's just how it is. At what point the Democrats have to? This is now 2 elections that we've said, and I have to be careful how I say that. When they go low, we go high. At what point do we stop bringing a bat to a gunfight, and we start running commercials that say, just as, I don't know. I'm curious on.
You got to bust out that metaphorical AR-15, man. You just got to keep, the metaphorical AR-15 people.
Right.
Well, I think sometimes people, sometimes like the context of how Michelle Obama said it kind of confuses people, because they literally think like when someone goes low and they hit you in the gut, you just go high. No. On stage, you take the high road. You
Yeah.
throw a grenade underneath his table, you know. You do some shady stuff too, but just don't get caught. You know,
Okay.
and if you get caught, get it together. Keep your head, you know, you get it, keep it clean. Because
Well-
first off with Cal should have been more upfront and more direct about his situation against Tom Tillis. And the same thing with Hillary.
Should also have been less in the pants of some other man's wife. I think that would have helped him out quite a bit.
But I mean, Cal could have said, I mean, they should have met, and Cal should have said on TV, why are you so concerned about what I'm doing?
Mhm.
And then just leave it alone.
Yeah, because he basically disappeared the last 3 weeks. He disappeared, wouldn't answer any
Yeah.
questions. Wouldn't
What's
answer.
that? I
So-
mean, because I think if Donald Trump would have did that to Michelle Obama, Michelle probably would have just looked at him and said, Donald, why are you so concerned about what my husband doing? And then
Yeah.
she turned her head.
Yeah.
Then she might say, you want him or something? She might
Yeah.
put that out there. You just don't know.
So,
And
so
that's the thing about it. Like,
I mean, Barack is a handsome man.
yeah, you can go high. To me, you can go high, but you just have to get it together. When Michelle Obama said, "Go when they go low, we go high," you go high into a sense where you're not like physically, like you don't lose yourself. Like how Joe Biden kept it together when Trump kept talking about his son.
Oh, yes. I think what I meant, Joel, was like the type of commercials that we run as Democrats.
Yeah, they're just weak.
For an example, everyone knows, or most people feel, Donald Trump is a racist, a bigot, and he spreads prejudice. And why didn't we run commercials openly? You know, Trump is running these people, Black Lives Matters, you know, black mask and this.
Trump was going low.
And why don't we run the same type of commercials against him and say, there's no, you know, this man is a racist and a bigot, and let's just call it what it is instead of trying to be so polite about it. I guess, I don't know if that'd win any votes. I don't know. So the mothers, what do y'all think? I mean, is that?
Truth of the matter is, you're gonna vote. If you're gonna vote, you're gonna vote regardless of the commercial advertisement that Democrats or Republicans use. I agree with you completely. We should be more direct. You know, I think that's the problem, especially in the South. The South is direct. The South is in your face. Like we're not real. Like Southerners aren't really into big words. You know, so they're just like straight to the point. If he said it, put it on the television, show the clip, and then move on. That's what you should do. You don't need to explain what it means or something like that. Just put it out there and let the people decide. I mean, that's how North Carolina really is. South Carolina, Florida, I mean, that's really how they are.
I think another question is who has Trump benefited over the last 4 years, and what has Biden proven to actually succeed at?
He succeeded in giving $10 trillion to billionaires.
That's my point. That's my point. You basically just said it. He looked out for that, and I'm just playing the devil's advocate for just a quick second.
I mean, you're not wrong though.
I'm not wrong. And let's not even go to veterans. My house is semi-divided because I'm married to a disabled veteran.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I got veterans in my family as well. I mean, if I got, you know, people in my family and a friend circle who are, you know, Democrat or Democrat leaning, but you know, when the Democrat Party chose a drug warrior as the VP candidate, it's like, why do you want someone who's pro-war on drugs to be like your party's standard bearer? You know, it's like, I mean, granted, I'm in a case where, like, you know, I'm in a party that's anti-drug war through and through, and most of my people, most of my friends and family and all that who are, you know, around my age, you know, they look at the drug war and they go, it's the stupidest thing in the world. But that gets me to some good news, folks. So several more states for popular referendums have passed either marijuana decriminalization or marijuana legalization. So now those jails will be less full let's face it, of minority men picked up on charges for having a little bit of pot on them. It's a victimless crime. And I will always say no victim, no crime. Right. And
Right.
it gets even just a little better. I think Oregon passed carte blanche drug decriminalization, a complete end of the drug war at the state level in that state. So now guess what? That means that if you have an addiction in that state, it is easier now for you to seek help because you're not a criminal by default at the state level. And, you know, I think the feds will be too busy with other things than to, you know, sweep into poor neighborhoods and, you know, clean up house in that sense. So this is a win for people who don't want to get picked up on a stupid charge, right? You know, they don't want to get falsely tagged by a canine unit, because you know that's how that thing works. Fewer excuses for civil asset forfeiture to steal from you. And let's face it, civil asset forfeiture steals more money than burglars do in this country, which is an incredible statistic. And it's good for people who want to kick the habit, because now you can go to a clinic or seek help without being at risk of being, you know, put behind bars for just trying to get better. Because let's face it, addiction is a disease and it needs to be treated like that, not as some criminal enterprise. So that's some good news.
That is good news.
That is good.
What's on your mind? I see you thinking.
I just want to remind people what our shows are going to be in November. Just a little segue here. Next week, which is the 11th, our second show of November will be a show about Medicare versus Medicare Advantage. We will be educating people on the difference between what Medicare is and Medicare Advantage. You're seeing almost every commercial, 3 out of 4 commercials. Medicare Advantage, you know, do this, and it's very confusing for people, especially our Latinx seniors and people who are trying to help their parents sign up for Medicare. Do I get Medicare Advantage? Do I want the free gym membership? You know, all that stuff as well. On November the 18th, our show is called Love Thy Neighbor After Vote 2020, which we will definitely need that show. We're going to invite individuals on our show who were both Trump supporters and Biden-Harris supporters, and see how do we come back together, because that's really.
Don't forget the Joe Jorgensen supporters.
Yeah, Joe Jorgensen, that's right. I keep forgetting. I'm sorry, Stephen. You know, we want to. I just think, I don't know. Here's a question. Let me just.
I don't feel represented here.
I'm sorry. And then the last show of the month will be COVID-19 during holiday season. How do you deal with COVID-19 during Thanksgiving and Christmas? You know, that's in my family, that's going to be an important topic.
Cough drops. They fix everything. Throw some tussin on it.
Vitamin D, vitamin Z, don't breathe. Okay, so the question I have is, I just think, and this is one of the reasons why I was supporting Biden and Harris, because I just think that if Biden-Harris wins, the Biden-Harris supporters, and y'all can tell me, we'll go around, you tell me what you think. Biden-Harris supporters are more likely to open our arms and welcome Trump supporters and say, good game, let's be family again, than vice versa. I feel like if Trump supporters have a harder time doing that because they just hate Americans. They don't just, I mean, and so that's what the difference is that I see. Not all, but on all of our extremes, you know. And I jokingly said when I was working the polls on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with a young man who was a Trump supporter, we got along great. We talked about things the way it's supposed to be. We jokingly made a t-shirt bet on who wins the election. And I just think that there was a time, and I know you're not going to like this, Stephen, I would rather Americans not like Russia and China than other Americans. And so I know that we Americans always need like a foe, you know, somehow, but it seems like during the Trump era, that foe is us, is each other, instead of a foreign country. So I don't know, tell me what you think about it on the Brady Bunch screen.
Well, first I have to ask, why do you think I would be bothered by that?
I don't know. Because I know you don't like wars, and I don't like confrontation with, you know.
Oh yeah, I don't like war. I'm actively anti-war, but you know, having a good deal of like competition or some sort of adversarial relationship between nations, there can be something for that. You know, like I'm no fan of the CCP.
Russia. Okay.
No. That's the Chinese government.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't. Foreign policy is not my, which is why I lost in 2016. Who else? I mean, what do y'all think? I mean, Barb, you look like you want to say something.
I am dreading seeing a couple of my neighbors because they are diehard Trump fans. And because I had a few signs in my front yard, which I'm now down to one because they've been disappearing and I just didn't even say anything about it. I will get, you know, needled a little bit, jab verbally, and I'll just have to slough it off because I don't think it should have anything to do with a long-term relationship. That's your political views. I should be able to have mine, and we should be able to get along. If I can't do that in my own neighborhood, it just makes me sick. But I will be the one to suck it up. And do I think it would happen if it was vice versa? No.
Yeah.
I don't see the capability there. One person stayed mad at me for 2 months for one comment I made that wasn't made at or around. It was just a general comment. And I paid the price. I'm like, what? So I just try to get along.
For people who are worried about the stereotypical or average Trump voter versus the average Biden voter, I want you to just think about this for a second. You can walk around in Uptown Charlotte, Plaza Midwood, any grocery store in a Obama 2012 Hope and Change t-shirt and everything's fine. Maybe you'll get a side eye, maybe, but no one's going to say nothing about it, right? Even a Biden Harris shirt, no one's going to really say anything about it. But actually, maybe not that because temperatures are high. But but I have friends who are Trump supporters, and you know, they say that people will talk smack to them when they wear their MAGA hats. Now, it's interesting that you can walk around with, you know, a Hope and Change Obama 2020 shirt, and everyone's cool. And then you wear a MAGA hat and someone will say something to you, right? I've been to Democrat rallies. I've been to Sanders rallies. I've been to McCready rallies. I've been to these things. And if you are not dressed exactly like you're supposed to be, right? People will kind of be mean to you. I've also been to Trump rallies, dressed in non-Trump attire. Leave it up to your imagination, the logos I was wearing, because I wanted to know the difference. I wanted to know how I would be treated, and I wasn't treated badly. People would be like, what the hell are you doing? And then you talk and they'd be like, oh, whatever, you know, it's all about the show anyway. So I don't think it's going to be as bad as some people may think. In either respects, you know, you might get a side eye, you might get a snide comment if someone's already in a bad mood. But if you are of good cheer, then that has like this contagious sort of light that comes off you, and I think it'll be fine. I'm optimistic. I don't think, at least in North Carolina, you might get a few bless your hearts, but a few bless your hearts never broke anybody's bone. So I don't think you have too much to worry about that, and I hope I'm not proven wrong. But if I am, I will eat crow.
Well, Mama Ruth and Kelly, tell me, and Joel, what do you think? I mean, do y'all want to say anything?
Well, I was gonna let Mama Ruth say something because I feel like you got something to say, and you just
she's got this. Mama Ruth has got
Chomping
this
at the bit.
like she's doing this. She's good.
Because I mean, we gotta learn that we are human beings. Okay, nobody's perfect. So even though we try to be friendly with everyone, yes, we understand that every single mind, it's one world. And we have to compete against that. Okay. I love Vanessa, and you've met Vanessa at my birthday party.
Mhm.
And she's a red bone Republican, like literally. She's from Peru.
Mhm.
And I love her as a person. I might not agree with her.
Yeah.
Now, do I get mad when I see her with her red MAGA hat? I mean, that's her choice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do I get mad if they tell me, why are you going for Biden? Why are you going with Kamala Harris? Why are you going in favor of pedophiles? I'm like, listen, I might have a long tail too.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what I go through behind my doors.
Mhm.
So anybody can say anything.
Yeah.
Your actions are the ones that are going to speak outside. And that's what a lot of our people don't understand that, you know?
So,
It's just so hard. I mean, I have so much, but then at the same time, let's not give the same thing that we have received. Let's change that.
so
You know,
what
Dr.
I was just gonna say, it does help, and I don't know if anyone's gonna get this joke or analogy or whatever. It does help for me to be a Dallas Cowboy fan, because growing up a Dallas Cowboy fan, you either love the Cowboys or you
Or they hate you, or you're hated.
or you're hated. So you learn to deal with the smack talking, and you learn to go, you know, next year, you know. So I've learned the ability to deflect.
You know what's the hard part? And yes, because in the Latinos, we have the soccer, the football soccer, and we get bullied.
Yes.
We get really bad bullied because we don't go for Barcelona, we go for Real Madrid. So we're used to that. I know that if Biden would have won, or if it wins, we're going to get bullied by Republicans. I mean, we're going to be bullying the Republicans. If Trump wins, we are going to bully whoever was going for our Biden. So it's the same thing. It's just in a different, I guess, actions, the way that we get bullied. So we're wrong.
Yeah. So doesn't that go back to what Kelle was talking about earlier about we have to teach our children how to handle these situations, because the world is not, this is going to happen. You're going to lose.
She's right. Because, you know, we have to teach our kids, because what happens is we have a Black Republican Party. They don't care if Mr. Trump hates us, hates dark or light-skinned Latinos or African American. They're still seeing him as an idol, as their role model, as their liberator, as a, you know, as Trump, like their trophy. So it doesn't matter about their color scheme, because that's what it's in their mind already. They see him as an idol.
Well, he has done more for Black Americans and Brown Americans than any person in the history of the world.
He's a regular Abraham Lincoln, that guy.
Oh no, let's not go there, Mr. Abraham Lincoln there.
I know.
That was the funniest line of the debate. I'll have to say that I cracked up. I was like, that's a good one. That's funny.
I said that for Joel because he's still saying that. He's still, last night at his last campaign rallies, he's still using that line, and you know, we're just kind of laughing. Listen, we only have about 10.
You know, it goes back to what Mama Ruth was saying about we're all human beings. Dr. Maya Angelou said, "I am a human being. Nothing human could be alien to me." And that was a quote by Terence, one of the Black Greeks of from way back when. And in the dialect that is used in, it was like, "A homo sum nihil mele eden punto." I am a human being. Nothing human can be alien to me. And so we do have to translate that back. You know, if you can do it, I can do it, because we are all equal. We are human. We all make mistakes. That is something that happens. But for me, not trying to be mean or something, but when I do see people in MAGA hats, I will say something. Now, if you're wearing a
mask on,
if you're wearing a shirt that says Trump supporter, I don't have a problem with that. A Trump shirt or anything like that, no problem. But when you start getting into make America great again, and then you want to get into not wearing the mask, I say something. Like
Because-
I went somewhere and like this morning I was at Starbucks. This guy walks in, no mask and no nothing. And I'm just like, wait a minute. I said, hold on. I said, and I used this, and this is what I used. I kind of curse, but I try not, I'm not cursing right now. But it was like, I was just like, I guess you just say F us all, huh? I said, you don't care? I don't care. And that's what I say. I mean, it's ridiculous. And especially in South Carolina, because they don't have any mask mandate.
Right, I
So
don't.
they're going down, they're down there, and then they're coming up here with all that corona, and then they're trying to put us back on lockdown. That's exactly how I feel about it.
Now let's be honest.
So you want a strong border between North and
No.
South Carolina?
I don't want no border between North and
Joel,
South.
that sounds like a pro borders argument.
Hey, but
The only thing that really bothers me and worries me is for my community, for our state here, especially in North Carolina, and some rural areas where there's a lot of fear entering their heart right now.
yeah,
And that's going to paralyze them. They got to learn to step up and just shake it off and keep on going. And let's start, I guess, uniting ourselves
oh yeah.
to make it different. And make a MAGA. Let's make a MAGA, and we can do it. It
I will
doesn't be Republican way.
And
I will be
I
here-
feel like the hat should say, let's make America great. When you say great again, I'm
Again.
trying to figure out what are you
That
talking about?
annoys me.
Can
Yes,
you
yes.
explain to me what you were talking about? What time, what era, what are you talking about? Because you
When we
got
knew our place.
Maybe bring back the Native Americans. That was the only time that America was great.
I'm trying to figure out what are these people talking about? Make America great again. And I'm just like, do you not realize that you just get freedom?
Maybe send back to Trump and family back to their country.
Come on, make America great again.
Well,
Can you give me a time and can you give me a date?
I do think one thing that we may see from this election, for all the data nerds like Stephen and all of the other individuals.
I choose to take that as a compliment.
Yes, it is a compliment, Stephen.
It is.
I think we are going to realize that as a Democrat, the Democratic Party is going to have a coming to Jesus shakeup, because we ran people that we thought in Kentucky, a white military woman lost, Cal Cunningham bit the dirt, all of those individuals that they thought we would be passionate about, we were not passionate about. I was a big Erica Smith supporter when she was running. If we'd had a Black strong woman running against Tom Tillis, I think that would have brought excitement out. And you know,
But like you said last time, the Democratic Party doesn't really back the
No.
people that they should when it comes down to color and stuff.
yes,
That's a terrible statement.
yes.
But it's just how you see it.
Yeah, and you know, at the end of the count, we received 12 mail drops paid for by the North Carolina Democratic Party for Jeff Jackson to be my state senator. I
He won.
received, yes, and he won. I received 0 for Cynthia Wallace, 0 for Brandon Lofton, 0 for the lieutenant governor, who was an African-American woman running for office. I received 0 for them.
Her
And so,
commercials
all I could-
were just
Yeah.
like, I was like, she's running for lieutenant governor. To be honest, I really didn't know who she was.
Yeah,
I had to look her up.
Yeah, I was just like, the commercials were just like so limited. She really didn't say anything. They just had a picture of her. I really didn't pay any attention.
so I mean, I
So
do
what do you
think,
think, Christian, that the North Carolina Democratic Party should be doing in getting prepared for the
I
next
think-
4 years?
I think what we
My
well,
question, first of all, is who gives the training or who trains Democratic Party leaders to empower our people?
well,
That's a
Christian,
yes, ma'am.
who vetted Kelle Cunningham? Huh?
Thank you.
Who vetted him? That's as bad as Sarah Palin, for God's sake.
The donors, I will, Christian, I will say this, as someone who is who's very pro-capitalism and very pro-capitalist, I admire how much your party follows the money and only cares about big money donors and who has the
That's a
cash
great
and
slap.
connections.
It's
It's something I find admirable.
You're so respectful, Stephen. You just slap the heck out of them without any hurt.
You
So I do
the
think that,
Democrats are worse than the Republicans? What about Coke?
no, they're not worse.
Two things can be
No, it's
correct
not
at the
that they're
same time.
worst.
Okay, so we're just, I think on that we're equal. I do, I think we're the same.
I'm just trying to be funny here, but yeah, I mean, it is all about the money with the duopoly.
Yeah.
Well, I do think that we have to replace all of the county party chairs. They all have to be voted out. Our state party chair needs to be voted out,
Who
preferably.
is your state party chair, by the way?
Wayne
Wayne
Goodman
Goodwin, who ran for state treasurer at the same time, and he lost.
and
And
lost.
so we've got to vote these people out and put people with the
And I'm
skills.
sorry, I voted for Wayne because I mean, I really thought he had a good plan for that.
And so I do think they have to be voted out. But to Barbara's point, what I did last night, right before I went to bed, of the people that I was supporting on with the yard signs, Matthew Ridenhour, Sonia Nichols, Joe Biden, Governor Cooper. I had your sign, Stephen, out there. Rex Marvel, I was supporting him.
He won.
He won.
Yes, he won. So of the people that I was supporting, I went and I looked up.
Do we know
and
Kyle won?
Kyle did not win. Kyle, and I saw him last night. But the people that I was supporting, I looked to see how my precinct did. All of the people that I was supporting won my precinct. So I was pretty much in line with the people in my precinct. Biden won my precinct. Yeah, Biden won the precinct. Cal lost my precinct. Matthew Ridenhour won my precinct. Sonia Nichols won my precinct. So my precinct's pretty purple. It's not, vote blue no matter who, and it's not red all the way. And so, Cynthia Wallace lost my precinct. And so I supported Cynthia. So I was very in line with my precinct. So that way I knew how quickly I needed to take my signs out. So we'll see what happens. Listen, we've run out of time in just a couple of minutes, but the last question I have here is, two questions and answer 30 seconds or less. What are you going to do if Trump wins? And what are you going to do if Biden wins? Who wants to answer these last questions before we close?
Go first.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I am going to continue growing as much food in my yard and in the communities that I can. I'm going to continue empowering moms to take the initiative to be leaders for their babies. I'm going to continue to support Black moms and other moms of color in labor. I'm going to continue to go to Capitol Hill with my babies in tow and telling them, look, we want a safer world. How are we going to work together to do it? That is my plan.
Good for you.
Awesome.
Just
I'll
know,
be the same.
she's got
I'll
some.
be
Hey,
just
Mama Ruth,
myself, and
Mama-
yes.
Mama Ruth, you need to meet Kelly, or if you know
I
each
was
other.
just thinking about it. I'm gonna say,
No.
Kristen, send me her info.
No, she's got some great boys. How many boys do you have?
I have 5 sons and 4 girls.
Listen,
Whoa! I have
That's
5 sons.
Catholic
I'm
numbers
still
right
waiting
there.
for the girl.
Catholic, wow.
I'm sorry, Mama Ruth, go ahead.
I'm still gonna be the same. Me, nothing's gonna change. I think that's gonna give me more power to continue and go higher, get more educated, and be able to bring that education to our community.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just be who I am. Continue to be that leader that is in me without right or left. Just go straight.
Joel, you want to tell us what you're going to do if Trump wins or Biden wins?
Oh, Lord have mercy. If Trump win, I'm just stocking up. I really am. Just stock up on everything because I just don't know. I really just don't know.
Listen, Joe, all things work together. All things work together.
Show you right.
That's right. They all do work together, but Lord have mercy. I tell you one thing, you just don't know what's going just jumped out.
No fear, no
I'm
fear.
just up here stocking up. I'm going to continue to do what I've always done, is fight for my people, fight for this city, and let's make North Carolina greater. One of my projects that I'm doing is working with, I guess, some judges and attorneys and just regular people, and trying to turn the criminal procedures for grand jury secrecy in North Carolina, because that's something that we do need to work on, so we don't have another Breonna Taylor incident in our country, and especially we don't need one here in North Carolina. I think grand juries are out of date. And at the same point, I think since we can't get rid of them, we should at least get rid of the secrecy and at least put some type of check and balance system in place, a judge or some defense attorney, because how the system is created right now, prosecutors are the only ones interacting with the juries in grand juries. So we have to do something about
Hey, Joel, I didn't mean to cut you short, but we got to wrap up here real quickly. But I
Hey,
want,
Chris, before we go further,
Yes,
we
please.
understand we need a nation president, but do we really are aware that we have a local president that we have to take care of and help them bring our state put back again as before?
Oh, you mean Cooper?
Yes.
Cooper.
Yes.
So that's what we should be worried more.
Well, I think as
Did you
North
just
Carolinians,
promote secession? Because
we
I'm
have
not
to
opposed to it.
Take it as how you want it, but I mean, just think about it. Our state governor needs a lot of help from a lot of our leaders. Now that he's doing a new term, we have to kind of help him direct the right way, because it's gonna be a tough one for him. He has
Yes.
him and now a Republican together.
Yes, that's right. So Barbara and Stephen, what are you going to do if Trump wins in 30 seconds or less? I got the bell. Or if Biden wins?
I'll go first.
Oh, go
If
ahead.
it doesn't matter to me which one wins, because I both believe they're equally awful in different ways. So, it depends on which way I'm going to pivot. But either way I'm going to pivot, Kelly, I'd love to trade tips on gardening with you, because I'm a gardening guy myself, and that sounds awesome. And Joel, I'd love to hook up with you at some point and talk about reforming criminal justice system, because I have a lot of thoughts on that, and getting rid of qualified immunity, educating people about jury nullification, things like that are something that I'm very passionate about.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to connecting with you.
And
Sweet.
Barbara?
just gonna keep doing the same things I have been doing. I won't be driving people to vote anymore. Working with a couple of nonprofits, still working in my yard. That hasn't gotten any better, and go back to working with some people that I put on hold because of the election. So yeah, I'm gonna do my thing, and I agree. We need to help Governor Cooper. If we
Yes.
can't help nationally, let's get our state together and help, because we're going to have, as Dr. Fauci said, a dark winter, and we need to help protect each other. And regardless of who takes care of the virus or who doesn't, we need to take care of ourselves, and we need to help our friends and neighbors do that.
Correct.
So that's what I'm going to do.
So if Biden wins, of course, I'm going to be very excited. If Trump wins, it is what it is. We're going to deal with it. We're going to hold him
Start
accountable.
it off like we did the last time.
Yeah, we're going to hold him accountable just as much. If he needs to be impeached again, we got to impeach him. We're going to hold him accountable like we would anyone else who takes a job. So we are finished here on Coffee and Pan Dulce. If you're on the Zoom call, please stay on so we can do a little promo, and I can thank you personally. I don't know, Stephen, do you want to talk more after the show, or what do you, are you finished, or are we doing another one, or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm available.
Okay, so after this show, give us about 10, 15 minutes. Joel, anybody else is welcome. We'll sign back on and talk more freely than we would normally do on this one on Two Queers in a Truck. I do want to let you know that last night I hung out with Jenny James Gunn. We went and crashed a couple of watching parties as much as we could. So the first watching party we went to, we did not realize it was the official Republican Party of Mecklenburg County. Because Kyle Kirby invited us to it. So we thought it was just his party. We walk in, and the first thing I hear from way across the room is some young Republican girl go, I know he doesn't have that Biden button on. And she just gave us the stink eye, like, like this. So we said, hi, Cal. We just want to say hi, hello. And then we just got out of there real quickly. So I had a different experience from you, Stephen. And then we went to the Cynthia Wallace event to thank her for running. And unfortunately, she did not win. We were going to make it to the Matthew Ridenhour, but by that time, I just wanted to go home to watch the election. And so we're going to go around the screen in 30 seconds or less. Tell us where you're going to be. And then we will end the show and then stay on Zoom so I can thank you personally, but we'll disconnect on Facebook. So looking at the screen, it is Baby Trump Pinata, Stephen, Mama Ruth, Joel, Kelly, and Barbara. So start off. Stephen.
Oh, I thought Baby Trump Pinata was going to go first,
Oh.
but that's okay. I'll be working with the Libertarian Party of North Carolina to figure out how we're going to stay a party, because the rules set for third parties is quite a higher bar than the Democrats or Republicans have to nice bumper sticker. And then, of course, I'm going to be connecting with Joel and hopefully trading tips on gardening with Kelly. I gotta that sort of community empowerment thing is something I really like. So I'll be focusing more on that now that the campaign is over.
Next.
I guess I'll just be at home. I'm planning a trip. Whoever wins, I'll be going somewhere out of this country, at least for a week or something.
All right. Well, I'll be doing what I'm doing. I guess staying home, helping. I raked up the yard. I mean, try to limit my time going places and connecting with Stephen and just connecting with some of our local officials on what are we going to do with the upcoming 2021 elections coming up and other stuff like that. That's what I will be doing.
Well, I already have my backpack. I'm going to spend the week in Puerto Rico from November the 15th through, I think, that 22nd. Then I'm coming back and doing a birth doula training, full spectrum. And as of today, continuing from our previous work with Moms Rising, just figuring out where we're going as moms and community. However the election ends, just figuring out where we're going from there in terms of advocacy and keeping the American families going forward as much as possible. And of course, getting our immune system strong, because we don't always grab our masks when we're out. I'll be honest, but we definitely stay herbed and fruited up.
Okay, that's
So, but we're gonna do better.
Barbara?
I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I still have all the problems with my yard, so that's before the weather gets cold. I need to fix some things. Also get back in touch with Judith at her nonprofit and give her some help with some things she needs. And I have a disabled friend up in Winston-Salem that I'm gonna start helping again. So not traveling though. We haven't figured out how we're gonna Zoom some of this stuff, but we will. So back to normal.
Got to get some self-care in there, guys. This thing is overwhelming. And I refuse to be overconsumed with all of these traumas coming at myself and my family left and right. So I believe in self-care and keeping my sanity.
Yeah.
Well, I am going to be here at home. We're not camping this weekend. I may be living in this until the election, or until we find out the finish of the election. One of the sad things that I'm very sad about is I had finally stuffed Baby Trump Pinata, as you see there, his cousin. We were going to break this in our front yard. It's full of candy left over from Halloween because I always buy too much candy. So we will have to wait breaking that Baby Trump Pinata. And I was hoping to knock on Dr. B's door, who will be with us next week, by the way, to drink some of that Dom Perignon?
Dom Perignon.
Yeah, that he was going to crack open. So we will, we will be here.
It's not over yet. It's not over yet.
It's not over, but I do agree with everyone. I think that's the consensus, is that regardless of what happens, we still have to keep moving forward. We still have to reach out to people. We still have to deal with the way it is. And I do hope this is a teaching moment for our children, to teach them how to deal with disappointments, teach them how to deal with these things. You know, whether Trump gets elected or not, we're all still Americans. We just have to fight a little harder to protect each other and to love each other. I hope that families are able to come back together again after this occurs. It's so much more important than Donald Trump. That was, you know, one of the reasons. Besides, I do believe Trump is a fraud and a failure, but that's just my personal opinion. I do want to say that I want to thank my other Bernie Sanders supporters who helped Biden get this close. And so, and everyone else who was helping as well. When all the data comes out about our Latinx community and their voters, I think we're going to, and also I think our Black voters as well. I hope that both Democrats and Republicans realize that you can't take any particular group for granted.
Oh, you're right.
And you've got to stop putting all the Black people in one category and all the Latino people. You got to treat us just like you do white people. You got to reach out. We're just as diverse. You can do it for white people. You can do it for Black and brown people as well. And that,
you know what? Also, let's stop telling our kids that Trump hate us.
Yeah.
We have to stop that, because that's gonna, if we keep continue, if our kids, our family start listening, oh, he won and he hate us, he hate us, he hate us. It's gonna make it worse. So let's change our words.
Okay. All right. So we'll stay on Zoom. We're going to disconnect from Facebook Live. So everyone wait. Thank you, y'all. We'll see you next week talking about Medicare and Medicare.
Bye.
Thank you.